SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Discover the Copiah Advantage. Copiah County is a Mid-South gem with a spirit of opportunity, a business-friendly environment, and access to major transportation networks. Copiah County, let's do business. Visit copiahworks.com today and discover the Copiah Advantage.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right.
Hey, folks, it's time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Steve Azar here, forever grateful for getting to do this show, learning to listen by the day, or at least every time I get to do this. And it's been a blessing. Thank you, Team SuperTalk. Superior Catfish, thank you guys. Homegrown and produced right here in Mississippi, the hallowed ground. You know, we make great music. Change the world. You know we make great catfish. It's over there in Macon, Mississippi. Go to superiorcatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. So many incredible things that scream Mississippi in such a beautiful way. Plan a road trip to a part of Mississippi you hadn't been to in a while, maybe never have. And meet some more friends. That's what it's all about in the hospitality state. Today's guest knows all about Visit Mississippi and its mission to lure tourism at its peak, bring people in from all over the world, and once they experience us, he knew firsthand the impact it made on the economy. Before retiring for a while to spend some quality time with his not so much baby girl anymore, E.C. and McClare, he was Visit Mississippi's leader of the band, ran the show at the point guard, as I call him. He was my point guard. His friendship has meant a great deal to me. His compassion, his heart, his wisdom, leadership. I got to tell you, moving back to Mississippi and leaving the big managers and agents and everything and running into today's guest and working with him on a number of things, he was definitely impactful. The best part of this is the friendship that has been cultivated. When I started serving as music and culture ambassador of our Mississippi, I didn't realize that this would become such a brotherhood, so I'm grateful. He's served on so many boards that we could talk about it forever, but we won't get a chance to listen to him. Let's just say the Grammy Museum Board, which he's just stepping down. When it comes to the Blues Trail Marker Commission, the Country Music Trail Marker Commission, all of that, he is leading the way just so perfectly. And I've gotten to witness that firsthand. So let's get to it right now with my dear friend, call him Craig Ray. Hello, Craig.
Good morning, Mr. Ambassador. How are you this morning?
I'm good. It looks like you survived our charity event, that you're looking like you're in one piece. I'm still in post. Can you say postpartum for putting on a charity event?
Well, you can say whatever you want to, but it was one heck of an effort by your team and all your volunteers and all the sponsors and the VIPs and celebrities. It was a wonderful weekend. I can't wait to hear the numbers that you all raised, but I give the weekend an A+. It was just so much fun. Pretty good weather all the way through, and always fun to meet new people, old friends, and do some hugging and high-fiving and some great food.
You gave us the motto, the whole hugs and high fives thing. Food was great. Doe's was wonderful. We filled up both seatings, so they were grateful. And of course, they just do us so well. So they don't charge us like they charge us when we go just for fun. They're very helpful, which is really wonderful of them to do. We just got the bill, and there's no way that the math worked out for them, and we're grateful for them. So that's amazing that people, so many people, Craig, it's amazing when they all step up. I got to tell you, I don't expect it. Gwen and I don't expect it. And we never take it for granted, but the generosity of folks' money and time, and all the community support like they do, and the committee and the volunteers. It's just so moving.
Well, it's really hard to describe when people ask me, describe this weekend. I said, I've played in hundreds of golf tournaments and I've never seen anything like it, from, just the fun, the live music all the time, even while you're playing golf, just knowing that everybody's there for a good time, but again, raising money for your charities is the number one goal. And you get to see these people come in from all around the country each year, your friends, your celebrities, your sponsors. It's amazing. It doesn't happen this way at every tournament, I can tell you that. And to see the love that comes out from that, and the love for Mississippi, that they have a good time while they're here, and they come back early, as I found out this time, that people are starting to come in a day early on Wednesday and plan to stay a little bit longer too. So that's what it's all about. And I think your formula is working, and I'm glad to be invited.
No, you got the open invitation forever. You've been a big part of the success of this, even from afar, just paying attention to you as a leader and understanding the impact it's making. You know what? We still have Pete Shaw and Kari Shaw. They're still here. I think they're leaving today. And Reggie Smith him and Rose came in last Monday, and they left on Monday. It's just amazing. We had some folks coming in on Tuesday. The golf is not what it's all about. So golf to me is so secondary. It's the relationships that's built all the other times. The golf course to me is just, as always, it can be a place to build wonderful relationships, and that's what happens that extra time. But it's not like the emphasis is put on golf. And I think that that's what separates it. We're thinking about all these other things that scream our Mississippi Delta and Greenville and community and Mississippi in general. And I think that that's the win-win. Let's jump to something else right now. I want to start talking to you now about your time with the Grammy Museum board. You've been on a lot of boards. This one, pretty dang cool, because we're still the only other Grammy Museum in the world, right?
It's, the one in Los Angeles is the mothership.
Well, I mean, the only other one. I'm sorry.
Yes, they have a couple sort of pop-up museums, that they around I think they have one in New Jersey. It's like more of an exhibition room stuff. A true museum, through and through, full support of the Recording Academy. We're the only other one, to my understanding, yes, in Cleveland.
Amazing. Isn't it amazing? Do you remember when all that was going down and you guys how involved were you in bringing them here? And did you feel like we had the best shot of getting it?
Well, at the time I was tourism director for Haley Barbour. So we were our charge that kind of helped lead to the city of Cleveland bidding on the museum. We were celebrating in our own way with Recording Academy the 50 year anniversary of the Recording Academy, but also that we were the number one state in the country for number of Grammy Award winners, nominees, and Lifetime and Achievement Award winners. And so we were celebrating for 5 years, putting together we used to call it the Mississippi Grammy Show here in Mississippi. And we started out in Jackson, went to Tunica, went to the Gulf Coast, the Hard Rock, and Beau Rivage, and we're celebrating all of our history through our artists. And it was just a fun event that we were doing, and we got the status working with the Recording Academy on each of those events. And in the meantime, they were looking for or putting out a bid for the other Grammy museums. So it was all sort of happening at the same time. And then we all worked together. Once the city of Cleveland bid on the museum, I think a lot of our friendship with the Recording Academy kind of led to that. But we just all say, hey, we all work together, and it landed in Cleveland. A lot of hard work from the locals and Cleveland and the fundraising, the leadership, but it was all meant to be that it was going to be in Mississippi.
Wow, it's just so cool. Let's take a quick break. We're with my pal, Craig Ray. We call him C-Ray. The world calls him C-Ray. Actually, the world does call him C-Ray. I call him my point guard. Superior Catfish. There's catfish. There's Superior Catfish. Please head on over to store.superiorcatfish.com. Have it delivered to your home. You'll be frying it up in your skillet in no time. And visit Mississippi.org. Man, just so many beautiful things that we celebrate in our Mississippi. Craig Ray knows firsthand the value of that. And, you know, we like to celebrate how dang cool we are. So go to visit Mississippi.org. I'm Steve Azar with Craig Ray. We'll be right back.
This is Fox on Justice. 4 tons, 8,000 pounds, or basically the weight of 2 cars. That's the amount of drugs alleged smugglers tried to offload at one of the busiest trucking areas in the U.S., the port of entry for 18-wheelers arriving from Mexico into California, known as Otay Mesa, just south of San Diego, where, according to the U.S. Attorney, the meth arrived in a semi-truck. 3 men unloaded the drugs into vans and a pickup truck. 61 bundles, each over 100 pounds. Unaware they were under surveillance by a Homeland Security task force, which followed the vehicles to a motel where the agents made the bust, arresting 3 men, 2 from Mexico and an immigrant from El Salvador with a felony record. According to the complaint, one of the drivers told detectives he admitted to knowing he was transporting drugs, but didn't know how much he'd be paid. Each faces a minimum of 10 years for intent to distribute methamphetamine. Street value, $5.5 million. William LaJeunesse, Fox News.
Be sure and check it.
I got me a brand new car, waiting in the driveway, shining like a bright new star.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, and I have my point guard, as I call him, Craig Ray. Former director, executive director of Visit Mississippi, former board member of the Grammy Museum, former White House sidekick of both President Bushes. We can go on and on. Also has been a big influence in my life since I moved back, and he's like a big brother now, but barely a big brother. But I'm grateful to have him on the horn today. Grateful for my pals over there in Macon, Mississippi, producing the catfish. Please head on over to superiorcatfish.com. It's homegrown and produced right here in Mississippi. That says it all. And visit Mississippi.org. As I say, never an afterthought. It needs to be front and attention in your mind and heart. Plan a road trip around your Mississippi. Bring folks in from all over. And the only problem is sometimes they won't want to leave. I've experienced that firsthand. That's okay. Craig, let's talk about some of your conversations, if we can, with Marty Stewart as of late. We lost Marty Gamlin, one of the greatest men you and I have ever met in our lives. And I know he's shining down and going to be leading the way from a distant heaven. But with that said, you are still heavily involved in all this. And I know you and Marty have had a lot of talks about where the country music trail markers are going to go in specifically, since he's involved in that. Can you update us on everything that's going on?
Yes. I was appointed by Governor Reeves to be, when I left Visit Mississippi, I offered my services to come back and be the chairman of the Country Music Trail Commission, which I was. And he was kind enough and believed in me to come back and resume my work there. And Marty Stewart is still very involved. If you're the ambassador of music, he's the godfather of country. He's
no doubt.
really involved with the Country Music Trail program. I also serve as an advisor on the Congress of Country Music, which is his museum that's being developed in Philadelphia, which is going to be Mecca of all country music, with his partnership with the Country Music Hall of Fame in Tennessee and how that's developing. And Marty is very hands-on with the Country Music Trail. When we have our board meetings, if he's not there, if we're not meeting at his location at Ellis Theater in Philadelphia, then he's calling in and recommending and advising on the selections for the trail, who qualifies, who doesn't. Our commission gets together, votes on these candidates, and works on fundraising opportunities and shows. So he is very hands-on with this very successful trail. We have about 4 or 5 that are already approved and being developed and laying out for the marker unveilings this fall. So we're at I think we're at number 43 right now. So by the end of the year, we could be close to 50, and then in the spring next year, the Blues Trail, I know we'll get to that later, but they have we have about 217 markers around the world, and that program's a little bit older, but it's been fun to see this program develop and into one of the most unique trails, both of them, in the world. And so Marty's been very active and really trying to combine the two. When the Congress of Country Music is complete, he would like to have that serve as ground zero for the Country Music Trail. So we would like to have people to come visit the museum, learn about country music history in Mississippi, then go out and see the markers around the state.
Wow. I got chills. I mean, that's perfect. You know, you think about country music and stuff, and we can claim it, you know, Jimmy Rogers and all that he did in Meridian and et cetera. But what's happening is Marty is building ground zero, basically. And
Yes.
you think about Marty's history in the business. I was so glad that the Burns deal, the documentary, that he was the guy, the voice and all that, I felt like it reminded the world of this guy, when he was a kid playing with Lester, and at 13, like you're not, I mean, 13, how could you be good enough, you know? And he has been such a special guy. He's been very unique in the business. I think that Mississippi rubbed off on him so much that he was sort of country, sort of Americana, sort of folk, sort of rock, you know, like me, same way. But I think I have probably more of a blues influence from being from down here. But we all have a blues influence, but mine particularly because of the folks I hung around with musically. But if you think about Marty and the history, I think it's fitting. And he's a true gem and treasure. I'm sitting here trying to go, were we giving him the credit he deserved 25 years ago compared to now? And no, the answer is no. And I love it that his home state has lifted him up in such a way to celebrate all that he has done and all that he's trying to do, even though he has stolen 20,000 pieces of memorabilia. I make the joke. I said, how'd you get all this memorabilia? It cracks me up. Marty, did you steal all this when people weren't looking? Like, he's got stuff that's insane. No, he's got a way of convincing people. I'm trying to send him my piano that I wrote Waiting on Joe on because that was my game changer. And he goes, where am I going to put it? And I said, I don't care. I just want to give it to you, you know? So, and I also want to get it out of storage because it's taking up too much room. He doesn't know that part. But seriously, I mean, do you feel like that his time is now, but more than ever? I do.
Absolutely. And he has this big picture dream as he tells the story of him coming back to Mississippi in the year 2000 with this dream of this Congress of Country Music, bringing all his memorabilia here and laying down this opportunity. But he talks about where B.B. King was alive when he was building his museum, and the two of them and their conversations about, hey, I'm doing this here in the Delta for this history of blues in the Delta and my life, and why don't you start something in Philadelphia for the country music? And then north of Indianola, we've got the Grammy Museum now, and then south of Philadelphia, you have the Max in Meridian, and then in Jackson, you've got the Civil Rights Museum, and it creates one big museum trail that people can come into, and within a couple hours of each place.
In the B.B. King Museum.
In the B.B. King Museum in Indianola, yeah. So it's amazing how he sees into the future, but how it's all come together. And I was just so glad BB was alive when the museum was being developed, and he was a big part of that. And Marty is still actively on tour and performing and working and raising money for the museum. And it's and the whole state is going to benefit from this, and already is for tourists. And you mentioned the Grammy Museum Board earlier. When you have the museums that are, you raise money, you build them, you develop them, you get them ready, and then you spend the rest of your life still raising money for projects, new exhibits, recruiting, and then how do you get tourists to come there? How do you recruit them with exhibits, music programs for kids, international tourists? The same thing will be going to Marty's museum at the Grammy Museum. That was one of our focus. I was on the board for 6 years. It's education programs, fundraising, getting artists to come in and play, to bring in fans from around the state, around the country. And I don't have the exact numbers, but when I was at the Grammy Museum, I think the recent is they've had people from all 82 counties, school buses of kids every year. Yeah. I think all 50 states or close to and 39 countries that have visited Cleveland, Mississippi. Marty will have that same number.
Impact. Right. Wow. Let's take a quick break. Craig Ray is my guest today. He's passed the baton off to our wonderful, wonderful Rochelle over at visitmississippi.org. Check them out. And Superior Catfish, made in Mississippi. I'm Steve Azar. We'll be right back.
Till Monday. I don't have to be me till Monday. I don't have to be me till Monday. I don't have to be me till Monday. I'm still trying to find my way.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
In a Mississippi Minute, Steve Azar rolling with my pal Craig Ray, C-Ray, my point guard, Superior Catfish. If there was a point guard for Catfish, it would be Superior Catfish. It'd be like Isaiah Thomas or Michael Jordan of Catfish. That's all I got to say. Go to superiorcatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. Just so many wonderful things. I was recently at Pearl River Resort playing Dancing Rabbit, both courses. One I took down, and the other one they're still trying to find body parts of me because it didn't work out. But it was beautiful. It is a challenge, and it is gorgeous. Each hole, its own wonderful stretch of Mississippi. So check out Dancing Rabbit Golf Club if you can. The Augusta, you can play. So C-Ray, let's talk real quick about the requirements. And then I want to say this first. I feel like we still are lacking with Elvis and Tupelo and Jim Henson and the Muppets down here. I know we've got small representations, but I wish that we had some sort of bigger celebration for them. Has that ever been brought up to you by community leaders when you were doing your time at Visit Mississippi? Do you feel like that could ever happen? What does it take to make it happen? And also want to dig into the Blues Trail markers after this. But answer, what do you think about my thought process there? I feel like we're leaving it on the table a little bit.
Well, I'm going to disagree or agree to disagree with you on Tupelo. I think they do a fabulous job year-round of promoting Elvis, from their festivals, the museum they have there, the theater, just the international travelers that come there, and the Elvis tribute artist shows. They do a wonderful job, and they focus laser beam through their tourism office on Elvis Presley. He is their point guard. Okay, he's their whole team.
I'm thinking of a big building, like a big museum, like the B.B. King Museum. I think that's so. I understand the Elvis Festival, and I understand all that they do there. I'm thinking about a presence that is like the Grammy Museum, like the B.B. King Museum in that regard. So I apologize. I was thinking more structure. Building.
Well, they do have that ground zero there where they have his house where he was born. Then they've moved the church that he grew up from down the street up to the land there. They have a museum inside, which is tastefully done, of memorabilia, that, it's tough moving Elvis's memorabilia around. I mean, there are a lot of property rights and things there. So, and then the festival and the things that go on and on. I will 100% agree with you that, I think that Leland could really put their arms around the Kermit Museum and the story there, which I had fun this past weekend. We went to the Thompson House, right, in Leland, and I was sharing, wearing my director of tourism hat, telling people about Leland and the story of Leland. I said, this creek right outside the front door is where a real frog named Kermit, that was found and was the best friend in Jim Henson's mind. And that's where it came from. But it was a real frog in this creek and the story. And there's a museum right over there, that talks about the story and the Muppets. And it's a great story that, people of our age, or even in the 30s or 40s, would get it. Younger kids may not, but I think there could be a bigger presence there. But it's a phenomenal story, and I think, to answer your question, I would say maybe a bigger footprint or something there. Yes,
that's what I was saying. I'm seeing some big massive building, in my mind. So my question wasn't on point, and I appreciate you straightening me out, and I love all you folks over at Tupelo. You know that. All right. You think about the Thompson House. I just want you to have a proud moment. I think we talked about it when we were there Wednesday last week when we took you guys there, before the charity event started. So Miller is like a 6'6" kid from southeast Missouri, him and his wife, and his in-laws, Bella, his wife's parents. They all came to our Christmas on Deer Creek that Sherry Smythe created, and I handle the music for her and everything. And this thing's been going on for about 5 or 6 years now, 6 years. And it's luring in thousands and thousands of people. It's working. Like Tamale Fest in Greenville. So that goes on. And so they came to it, and then they fell in love with Leland. And these people were not from here, right? And they saw Thompson House, and they went and bought it. And they moved their entire life there. Now they built it up, and they're doing so good they went and bought another building. And I'm going, to think that a music festival, they said they thought they were in a Hallmark movie, and it just drew them in. Is that not crazy? I mean, I love those stories. But knowing these guys firsthand and what they've done and how hard they work, we're supporting them big time, but they deserve it.
They were amazing people to meet. I had a wonderful experience there. I was just upset. I was director of tourism for 14 years, and I didn't know the house was there. Wesley Smith, I said, how come you didn't take me here before? And he said, well, these under new ownership now, and like you said, they're looking to buy another one or two more homes. But what they've done there was an amazing experience. All your guests had a wonderful time, and it really led itself to tell other stories and get people to possibly I had a couple people I heard say, I think I might try to stay here next year for Steve's golf tournament.
Yeah. Well, they've got some great bed and breakfast, and they got a great little speakeasy now, bar, and the real bar that's in there, it's like you're set back in time. It's so old school, it's hard to explain. And it's just, it's great vibe. And it's just awesome. I'm really happy that they've done this and they've stepped in out of Missouri into Mississippi, and they have fallen right into they just love Mississippi, and they're all in, and they're celebrating that. And I love their cuisine is a little bit on the NOLA side, and it's good because we don't have anything down here that really screams New Orleans. So that's good. We're close enough to that to have that. And of course I get to get my beignets and have powdered sugar all over me, which was good. I had 7 of them the other night, so I apologize. And I did work out the next morning, but it didn't help. I gained weight. I don't care. All right. So let's talk about the Blues Trail marker system. We got about 2 minutes, and then I want to finish with it on the other side of the break. So maybe give me as you say, 30,000 feet above for a second. First of all, what are the requirements for being someone that is placed on the Blues Trail and the Country Music Trail? Let's start there.
Well, we have a process for both trails, similar in the application. An individual or an entity or a town can get the application, basically filling out a resume on that artist or a place that feels that they feel like that they can recommend to our board for consideration. And so it could be, there are a lot of different, not rules, but guidelines to get in, but ultimately it's still decided by the board. We recommend it, and it goes to the scholars. Then the scholars will look at that application and say, here's how we voted these in the past. Is the artist still alive? What awards have they won? Maybe they're not deserving of a marker on their own, but hey, maybe there are 4 or 5 other artists in that area, and let's do a group marker to recognize that area, which we've done that on several occasions. And it might be, like B.B. King, I think has 5 of his own markers, and he's located on several other markers, as a group. And then we have some that might be the train station, right outside of, I think it's the Peavine Railroad Station outside of Cleveland.
Sure. I grew up playing at Peavines back in the day.
Yeah. And so we knew for a fact that train station had a lot of blues artists that went through there to go to, either various juke joints or the, Dockery Farm, that people travel.
Of course.
And so we've honored places, people, places, and things that, and there is a process. We try to keep it very above board and try to keep politics on who deserves one and who not, and let the scholars and the board go through that process together.
Craig Ray's my guest. Superior Catfish, always my guest. I want it on my black iron skillet tonight. It will be there. Go to superiorcatfish.com, made in Mississippi, and visit Mississippi.org. We're all made in Mississippi. For so long, I sure ought to know what it finally feels like. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like. You've been doing it. I'm doing it right. I'm still trying to find my way.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
You know that nowadays, most people go online to look at a business before they spend their money. What if the online information about your business is incorrect, or even worse, not very flattering? If your online presence isn't great, you may be losing customers. STMM Digital's trusted and highly trained team is the answer. We're ready to work with you to help your business capitalize on the power of digital marketing. Call 601-991-2305 or go to stmmdigital.com to get started today.
Patriotism is a
water, and we're in too deep. Yeah, we're in cold water. Say we in too deep.
Steve Azar in a final version, I guess, part of a Mississippi Minute with my pal Craig Ray. I feel like I'm having a lampside fire chat. Lampside chat with him as he's in his room. And we're sort of doing a Saturday Night Live skit, but you can't see it, but I can. He looks wonderful, by the way. Speaking of wonderful, if you want wonderful, delicious catfish, it's right there in Macon, Mississippi. Head on over to superiorcatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. Do you want me to sing to you? I will, because it is like a song and it celebrates us. Plan a road trip around your Mississippi. We have so many spectacular museums we've talked about today, some of them, and you can just spend days and days understanding our history, that's for sure, and being proud of it. No one's more proud of it than me and my guest today, Craig Ray. Spent a lot of time celebrating Mississippi. Back in his day, he was a heck of a point guard, like legit. We were talking blues trail marker and country trail marker. Craig, you got some new business endeavors that you've been able to do when you stepped out of tourism, and you've started thinking about some other things. Can you share that with our listeners, what's going on there?
Yes, I was part of a project that a group from Kentucky contacted me to do some lobbying consulting for them with a sportsbook app that they had put together, that they wanted to pursue a gaming license in Mississippi for their product, which is a process in any state, any casino, to get fully approved gaming license before you can participate in that state. So we started out in that form with this group. And the product is Tour Trader Pro, which is actually an app and name of the company. But under that umbrella, we have several other apps, and it's a way to bet online, either through mobile gaming or through an online process. It's where the stock market meets the sports book.
Wow.
Way to be able to buy and sell and trade positions in athletes and teams. And so that concept that they have a patent pending idea was the thing that we were interested in, but we were interested in helping them as a potential client. So after 15 months, last month, we received our Mississippi gaming license.
Wow.
Which is a deal. Very excited. Normally takes 3 to 6 months, but it is official. Tour Trader Pro has their gaming license, which in essence is reciprocal in any other state that has a casino presence, and we can just pay a additional fee to have a license in that state. One of the unique products that I know specifically you wanted me to talk about today underneath this umbrella is a horse racing handicap app where you cannot bet inside the app, but it actually gives you information on every race at the tracks that you select. So it's called Race Oracle, all one word, RACE Oracle, ORACLE.ai. And with that, you can, if you're at the track or you're betting online with horse racing, you have your app. It gives you the handicapping that you can use to wager. So it runs, for instance, it'll give you 5 horses in each race that you pick in the order that they give the probabilities for that particular race. And they can run 600,000 examples per race on their recommendation. And so,
oh my goodness. At some point, as we can live long enough, good Lord's willing, everything and every relationship that we build eventually have a way of colliding in such a beautiful way. It's like they're all on this destined point to come together. and that one touches the other, and that there's like one trunk, and there's all these limbs, and eventually they bear fruit, but we're with one tree in the middle of the world, in our world. And I just think it's so beautiful to see relationships turn into things that really are game changers economically and getting to work together and all. I just think that that's the beauty in it all. I just think it's amazing.
Well, it all falls under our love for tourism that I learned when I got into the business. They said, once you get in, it's like a line from The Godfather, I guess, everything goes back to The Godfather. In a quote.
Yeah, of course it does.
Just when I thought I was out, they reeled me back in.
I love it. Well, we got to go. Will's going to cut us off but go ahead. No, go ahead. Will, don't you cut off.
It's such a big world and how so much can fall into that tourism portfolio, of all not just the casinos, things to do at the casino, the music at the casinos, just the travel, the music festivals, golf, sports book. It all comes together under that one big roof. And that's where we collided in tourism. That's where our paths collided.
I love it. Well, we're blessed to you and me to get to be brothers, chosen brothers. It's been a beautiful ride so far, and I hope we're just getting started. Craig Ray, my guest today. Visit Mississippi.org. He knows all about that. He spent time running the helm before he passed that baton over to Rochelle, who she's so wonderful. And I know I feel good about it. Superior Catfish feels extra good. Please head on over to superiorcatfish.com. Visit Mississippi.org, the most wonderful way to celebrate our Mississippi. Jump on the country trail marker and just ride around and check out all the history because of our Mississippi. I'm Steve Azar. We'll see you later.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.